Yo, down, put the in the suitcase.
You said, "What do you
Yeah,
good?"
so you gotta partner us up. We gotta partner up.
I got you, bro.
Yeah, it's my boy.
Yeah.
Yo, all of us, London Face.
Say no more.
Skin on it. I just want like lighter of my.
Okay.
You're a barber. Telling you, man.
Guess what, baby? I'm in London back with the London finish. You know what I'm saying? Fully paid money, pay, you know what I'm saying? As I was saying though, there's only one place to get the Schmurder fade, aka the London fade, but you know I call it the Schmurder fade now. You know what I'm saying? I'm taking over.
Right.
You get it at Black Smith and Sons.
Hello everybody, my name is Beryl and I'm going to perform 2 originals for you, 9 to 5 and Johnny Your Love. Hope you enjoy. Journeys feel lonely, everything I once knew disowned me. Equitable for my decisions, yeah. Sacrifices for the mission, no. Don't wanna be like what I've seen before. I want something more. Willing to do what it takes, but in my mind's another war. Some think I'm distant, cause I'd rather stay alone than be with them. But I see another path, and it's too narrow to have many friends. Ooh, to be different requires letting go of what you know to reach men. Separating from the crowd to build a system. Don't wanna follow trends or be like them. I want something more from a life than just a 9 to 5. Don't wanna live just to survive. Through the surface, you see more than what I let show. Up to cover, now wherever I go, I give to you my body and soul. You hold me close, you never let go. Love is so captivated. Look at me elevated. You hit me so deep, nights I can't sleep. Wiggles my knees, baby. Give me that special feeling. It's deeper than emotions healing. You got that touch, it's more than enough. Hold me down, I wanna drown in your love. Wanna drown in your love. Wanna drown. Oh, I want to drown in your love. Wanna drown in your love. Wanna drown. I want to drown in your love.
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening, Elite family. Can you hear me? Cool. Welcome to our Covenant Friday service. I think I'll just start off by celebrating this Sunday service, the 3G Ordination Sunday. And that does deserve a round of applause. I think I was sat there and I was inspired by the profiles and the caliber of people that their family are actually raising. So I think that deserves another round of applause as well. Also, just to highlight, I believe after the Sunday service, the Elite 3G also hosted a takeover at Boom Battle Bar, where we saw about 20 young individuals come. And I think that's just an introduction into what the Elite 3G are going to achieve and what we're going to do in 2024. So looking into next week, we actually have a 3G social happening next week, Wednesday, and we're looking to have about 30 young people powered by Hannah and Claudette. So that should be exciting. And Josh. So I think that deserves a round of applause. And as well as that, most importantly, within the next month or so, we actually have the TMC, which is the Money Culture Summit, and I think that's going to be powerful. Ryan, Hannah, and to be honest, it's actually the whole of the Elite family, because the TMC is actually an Elite family business, and to be honest, it's actually a Nxtion family business. So I think that deserves a round of applause as well. And just moving on from that, just making sure that you all have a good service, and make sure you follow our social media platforms at, Pastor Nikky's social media handles at _Nikky O, and then also follow the new Elite family with an X. I've been Tafara. Thank you for having me.
Like serif, I think luxury, I think about the things like Vogue. Those are the visual references that come into my head when I think of a serif font. There's actual micro-influencers whom you're able to give a product to or give a service to, who are able to bring that ideal audience. And it's not just the everyday person on Instagram.
I had people messaging me from outside the family trying to be involved in this movement. We don't mind paying for the service, Pastor Nikky. What is it? I will do it. Why? Simply because you've made something work. An ecosystem of people that have come together, the most unlikely set of people actually, when I look around the room. And it's testament to the fact that we're going to go further and further with the work that we have started here today. I want you to do some research thoroughly in the industry that you're in, not just to come and give us stats, so that you can be the problem solver for that industry, so that you can be the disruptor of that industry.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon for wherever you're watching from. Guys, I need more energy, guys, from the people in the studio. I need a lot of energy, Casey. All right, so right now we have the Money Culture Couch Talks. So we're going to have some conversations around the topic of money. Who here likes money?
Oh, yeah. Me.
Yeah?
I love money.
Money makes the world go round. Yeah? That's All right, guys. Well, as you can see, I'm not the only one who's here on the couch with me. So I have an amazing young lady called Rebecca here. Please introduce yourself.
You're supposed to clap when she's an amazing young lady. Like, I don't understand. Thank you.
Okay, so please tell us what you do.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Rebecca, and I work in finance, more specifically investments, as a kind of like investor relations. So yeah.
Amazing,
And
amazing.
I also do TMC. I'm also part TMC team as well.
Don't forget.
Please introduce yourself.
Thank you. My name is Ryan, leader of the M Culture, also known as the Giver.
Wow. Guys, that deserves a round of applause. That deserves a round of applause. So we've got some question for you guys, because obviously you guys are around money, you're in the industry. Oh yeah, that's true, guys. So sorry. I forgot to introduce myself. So my name is called Nikky. It's called Nikky Love, Nikky Money. Wait, I thought you guys were going to give a round of applause. Thank you for that. So, so my name is Nikky. I'm a songwriter. Yeah. I am part of the Money Culture team, and also I am the leader and founder of Production World, which is a recruitment business. So, as we've done the introduction, so we're going to speak about money and the topics of it. And with my lovely guests who are here today, I'm going to ask you some questions, and I would like to know what you would do. Right. So the first question is, if you had £1 million, but had to spend it all within 24 hours, what would you do? And I would actually go to Ryan first.
Well, for entertainment purposes, we'll disregard giving it, because I think that's an easy answer, innit? What else are we gonna do with
Fairs.
it?
Okay, yeah, that's right. Go ahead.
I think I'll just buy gifts for people. Like
Really?
cars
Who would you buy a gift for?
I think it's an easy answer because of the question, isn't it? Well, nationals, like, I don't know, maybe we should have put some rules. Because I'm just going to buy gifts for the family and the leaders and stuff.
Okay, cool. So, Becca?
So if I was to get £1 million today as an investor, I would actually automatically try and invest it back into businesses. But obviously buy stuff for myself
Love
as
that.
well. But I would actually do that, like give it back to
Okay,
startups
so
as well, get
obviously we are the
equity.
new... Oh, equity, cool. So we are the new elite family.
What kind of businesses?
Anything that I felt was interesting to me, I wouldn't pick a specific one. Could be food, beauty, sport.
Okay, food, beauty, sports. Yeah, it's a big industry, isn't it, food? Yeah. All right, let's move on to the next question. Would you rather have £10 million now or 20 million 10 years from now?
£10 million now.
Okay.
I think that's
Ryan?
easy. These questions they're easy though. Like, who's going to wait 20 years for 20 mil? We can get 10 today.
I don't know.
There's no one on earth.
Maybe. All right, cool. So, you know what, guys? Wait, one second, Pastor Daniel. We actually should have another mic for people in the studio because I think Pastor Daniel needs a mic, but you know what? We'll do that for the next one. We'll do it for the next one. Oh, you know what? You can... Okay. He said, why would you take 10 million now?
Imagine like in 10 years' time getting 20 mil, but I could get 10 mil now.
could
And if I
be
wanted
dead.
to, I could
That's
just
it.
double it.
Like, you could
Do
be
know what
dead
I mean?
by then.
I get more. Do you know what?
There's no deep
Anything can happen
answer.
in 10
You might
years,
not make
you
it.
know what I mean?
She
Like,
said
I
that she could be...
can't take that.
Anyway, okay, cool. Let's move on to the next question, which is, what do you refuse to spend money on? And I'll go to Becca first.
Oh my God. What do I refuse to spend money on?
What would you not spend money on, like, at all? You just refuse to? Wait, who said food? No, that's wrong. That's wrong with you guys.
What would I refuse to spend money on?
Okay, should I let you have some time to think? Because I feel like Ryan and Pastor Ryan is ready, so please go ahead.
I don't have no answer.
Use the mic, please, sir.
I can't think of anything. What would you refuse to spend money on? I don't know.
Okay, cool.
Poverty, I don't know.
Refuse. Okay. Next question. We'll move on.
I can't
Right.
think of anything.
So, what is the most important thing you've learned about money to date? So, I'll go to Becca first.
What's the most important thing I've learned about money today? I think kind of like my mindset has changed in regards to money. It's not just about making money and making it as quickly as possible. It's really kind of like, I don't want to just say like the structure towards it, but it's the mind towards why you want to make the money, not just making the money.
Okay, so the mindset and stuff like that. Okay. Pastor Ryan?
I think one of the main things I've learned about money is it's like the relationship and the understanding you have of it. So the why you get it is how it will use you and you will use it. For example, like people that are chasing fast money, often you spend it on fast, frivolous things and don't have long-lasting results. So if you're used to getting money in a certain way, say for example you're a drug dealer, it's easy come, easy go. You don't think about the longevity of money. But if you're trying to build a company, for example, you're started off small and you've got a vision of making it a multi-million-pound company, how you use that money that you get will be dictated by your understanding of the money. So it's about the relationship you have with money.
Okay, that is
That's a better
strong
question.
point.
I can speak properly, innit? 20 million in 10
Yeah, we're
years.
charging for it.
All right. Okay. Cool. So my last question is, what motivates you to raise money? And I'll go to Becca first.
What motivates me to raise money is really kind of like the need. When you see the need and the resources that's needed in order to function, that's what drives me to kind of like raise money when you understand that.
First.
I think one is the use of money, the things it can do. Money is like, I don't know, a simple example is, if I gave you money now, £10,000, your whole mood would change. It brings life to things, ideas, people. Without money, you can't really live. So I think the whole idea of helping people and progressing motivates is the main motivation, to be honest.
Okay, I love that. And to be honest, you know, with what you do, we actually want to know what money culture is, because the truth is we've been hearing about money culture, and we just want to know exactly what is money culture and what plans have you guys got in the future.
Money Culture is an organization which simply helps people make money by making money. Whether you have a business idea or a vision or a plan, the whole idea between Money Culture is to help people monetize a thing. So lots of people have ideas. I think one thing that I understand it is you need help and you need resources. So our job is we're just specially assigned to find those resources and help ideas come to life and fruition. The whole idea behind Money Culture is building a strong team that helps people essentially get money. Or the short answer is we're just some people looking for seed.
Okay, Fez. And what do you guys have? Do you guys have anything coming up? And even where can we find you and connect with you?
I'll hand it over to Pastor Rebecca.
We have a TMC culture coming up, which is really TMC summit coming up, which is really exciting. So you can connect with us on Instagram,
LinkedIn.
iMessage. Or if you know us individually through word of mouth, you can connect with us that way as well.
Just regarding the summit, we're also launching our website, I think tomorrow, for registrations. Round of applause, guys. Yeah, we're on socials, the M Culture, on Instagram, LinkedIn, just trying to build and connect with more people.
Love that. And before you guys go, I just have one more question. So, you know, I know you work with a lot of young people and you kind of help them. So I just want you to give one advice you would tell your younger self coming in, because I'm sure when you was younger, you wanted to make money, right? Well, yeah, I believe so. So kind of just an advice for someone that's just coming in, younger than yourself. What kind of advice would you give them in regards to making money and being progressive in life?
I think the biggest mistake I made with money was not knowing. I once read a book called Move with the Cheese. And I think the biggest mistake I made with money, I was in a job and I think I got frustrated. And I'd done some things for money, which I really didn't have to do in hindsight. But now looking back, I just thinking I needed another job because I just got bored of what I was doing. So my frustration and my hunger kind of skewed my vision and made me make mistakes. So I'm thinking is knowing when to move on to the next thing. Looking at people like Elon Musk, he can build a PayPal, sell PayPal and start Tesla. PayPal's still successful, but he just knew when to move on to the next thing. So like, don't stay at a thing too long. Know when to move and evolve with money, because it's a relationship.
Love that. Becca?
I would say like not to rush, but just to think about it, and just not think about money. Just have an open mind to continue to kind of like just like he said about the Elon Musk, like just be a thinker. That's what I would say.
Okay, love that. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Can we give a round of applause for them? Thank you guys so much. Thank you. This has been a great conversation. I always love the conversation about money because I believe money is good, isn't it? Money is sweet. So thank you guys so much for joining, and get ready for the service. Thank you guys.
I guess you wonder where I've been. I search to find a love within. I came back to let you know. Got a thing for you, and I can't let it go. My friends wonder what is wrong with me. Well, I'm in a daze of your love, you see. I came back to let you know. Got a thing for you, and I can't let go. Do some people go around the world for love, but they may never find what they dream of. What you will do for love. You tried everything, but you won't give up. And in my world, only you make me do for love what I would not
Good evening, elite family. Good evening, new elite family. Can I get some? Oh, I need some noise. That doing that evening. That was a bit stiff. Clap and say woo then. There you go. Help me loosen up a bit. I'll just greet everyone. Let me see your comments. See who's tuned in, where you're tuning in from. I'll start off with our traditions. Nice to see everyone again here on a Friday. The family in the studio packed. It's always encouraging because we're word people first. So I'll greet the leaders of the house. Pastor Daniel Ehedewa, good evening, sir. Pastor Elvis, taking over the globe, head of communications over there, good evening, sir. Pastor Chris, leader of the House of Light. Pastor David, leader of the House of New Elite. Pastor Martin and Pastor Ganya, leaders of House of Grace. Pastor Genevieve, leader of the House of Faith. And of course, I'll leave the bigger greetings for Pastor Nikky later on. But our senior pastors and our fathers and mothers of this nation. But I'll get into it. I won't take your time because in a minute they'll put on the screen, get off, and be rushing me. But yeah, greetings to everyone on the New Elite family. Nice to see you all. But I suppose it's a good service for me. It should be an easy little word charge for me because it's my favorite topic, I think. One of my main obsessions in life is seed. Sometimes I do wonder to myself like why I do have like this obsession and this passion for seed. I think it's like I can just risk it all for this thing more than financially. And I think just like looking at myself and looking at my walk, and I'll just try to tell a couple stories in the brief few minutes that I have. I think it just started from hearing the word but seeing. So like, as I've been around more, I understand about the details of things and the standard of excellence, even us being elite people. And there's always a mantra at the end of service that is put up, and it's us understanding what it takes and what is required of us on a day-to-day, how we conduct ourselves. PT has taught and has said a few times about the details of the time and accuracy with seed that it requires. And I think those things are important. And I'm still trying to figure out why I'm so obsessed with it personally. But I think it's just because I believe in the word so much. I just remember always like looking back and I was thinking like, why did I come into the nation and decide to give wholeheartedly, not hold back? And I always wanted to be the best giver. I think naturally I'm a bit boisterous and naturally competitive. But I just always thought like, why wouldn't I give? Because I could see PT. And it's like some preachings he repeated so much, some things he repeated so much. And I just have in my head constantly that I washed plates for £400 a month and gave it all away. I walked from Thamesmead to Peckham. That's what I have in my head. It's like, that's the foundation of this thing. That's someone that could see ahead of time and just chose from day one to give it all, whether it was £400 or the levels of things that you see now, whether it was walking to work, it was all centered around one thing, the belief of this work and mission. So when I'm giving all and giving my best and wholeheartedly focus on this thing, I think it just comes down to the belief, how much I believe in this thing, how much you'll fight for something. People like give up in life. And I think why people give up, because they don't see no more. They don't believe no more. They don't see the use of themselves. They don't see who they're meant to be, their purpose and their passion. And that's why someone will simply give up. That can be in the family or out of the family. But when you understand something and you can see something, this year was titled the Year of Sight. So constantly, those are one of the things I think about. And PT has spoke on seed a lot and taught on seed a lot. And stuff like seed can see. So like even me, I just always try, never stop on understanding, stop on evolving and learning, because this thing clearly works. Soul winning clearly works. Seed giving clearly works. So I'll just go to my first scripture. I can't even remember where it was, but it's falling into the ground one. I think it's John. But I'll start there before we go to the original seed man himself.
John 12:24-25, Amplified Version. I assure you and most solemnly say to you, unless a grain of wheat falls into the earth and dies, it remains alone, just one grain, never more. But if it dies, it produces much grain and yields a harvest. The one who loves his life eventually loses it through death. But the one who hates his life in this world and is concerned with pleasing God will keep it for life eternal.
I was speaking to the 3G on a Wednesday, and I was just listening back to some word before I came down. And we'll go to Abraham next, when he went to sacrifice his son. And seeing that scripture, I just can't kind of see one thing. And I think it's one thing I always try to be coming into this nation. I just tried to do two things. One was to focus on the word and everything it taught, and whether it taught leadership, service, giving, soul winning, listening to SoundCloud and notes. And I think I really tried to always separate myself from what I once knew. I think understanding the scripture a bit more now that we all come from a level of understanding. We've heard a lot about beliefs and belief systems being tampered with. And Pastor Sam spoke on Tuesday about wrong conversations and knowing when to hang up the phone. So seeing this scripture, you see a seed. It's come from a plant, it's come from the ground, and it's come with a bunch of other seeds. So in that group of seeds, it's like, that's what it's always been used to. But in that group of seeds, it is in its function, but it's limited in capability and capacity until you remove that seed from the other seeds. And that's us as the family being plucked out one by one, and you come into the family. We all know, like, when you come into the family, we've all been through the times, you kind of have to get stripped of knowledge and reset yourself. And that's you going through the process of being plucked out once you was what you once always was, and falling into the ground and dying. That's when you'll become to break through. That's when you'll become to be able to break through into the next level and understand your fully function. Because that seed, when it's in a flower or a plant or whatever, people even eat it and sell it. And people eat sunflower seeds now and all kind of things, and it's meant to be healthy for you. But that's not the original purpose of that seed. The original purpose of the seed, it carries so much more power in it that's able to be seen when it's just with a bunch of other seeds. So I think understanding that we have to always separate ourselves. Even in the family, you have to personalize this word. The first word I ever heard was God's personal concern about you. And it's always understanding that even down to the individual, in the elite family, you just got to sit with the word like it's just me and this word. Always take it personal. Always separate yourself from what's amongst you. And I think that's the mentality that I always try to carry. I'm just looking at it like, if I'm the last one giving, I'm going to be the last one giving. If I'm the first one giving, I'm going to be the first one giving. I like a bit of healthy competition. I like challenges on giving and etc. And I always try to challenge myself. But I've just taken it so personal that I'm always going to decide to do what it takes. So I'll just go to my next scripture before I round up.
Genesis 22, 2-10, NIV. Then God said, take your son, your only son, and whom you love, Isaac, and go to the region of Moriah. Sacrifice him there as a burnt offering on a mountain I will show you. Early the next morning, Abraham got up and loaded his donkey. He took him with 2 of his servants and his son Isaac. When he had cut enough wood for the burnt offering, he set out for the place God had told him about.
If you just stop there for now. I don't want to read it like it's Bible. I don't know if it's just me, but I want to read this thing like it's real. So it's like, this man has woken up. And we've all heard the story of Abraham and how old he is and how long he waited for the son. But even that being said, put to one side, this guy has woken up. And God said, just sacrifice your son. I think one thing PT said yesterday was about delays. And he mentioned about seed from leadership. When you don't delay and you obey straight away, it brings seed. So it's like, this man has woken up. And God, even someone you can't see, has told you, let alone your leader you can see, what God has told you, sacrifice your son. And this guy is just not delayed. He's just understood, given to the point of, this thing is undefeatable, if that makes sense. It's like, this is what I trust in and this is what works. And I think that's the attitude and the mindset of a giver. How many times have you given your lost? Nothing worse has happened to you. I think our life as the family has only evolved and got better. Our platform has got better. We've grown in mindset. We've grown in understanding. We've grown in visibility. If you just carry on for me.
On the third day, Abraham looked up and saw the place in the distance. He said to his servants, "Stay here with the donkey, while I and the boy go over there. We will worship, and then we will come back to you." Abraham took the wood for the burnt offering and offered it on his son Isaac. And he himself carried the fire and the knife. As the two of them went on together, Isaac spoke up and said to his father, Abraham, "Yes, my son." Abraham replied, "The fire and the wood are here," Isaac said, "but where is the lamb for the burnt offering?" Abraham answered, "God himself will provide the lamb for the burnt offering, my son." And the two of them went on together. When they reached the place God had told him about, Abraham built an altar there and arranged the wood on it. He bound his son Isaac and laid him on the altar on top of the wood. Then he reached out his hand and took the knife to slay his son.
I think it's just understanding for me that the level of sacrifice that's required for myself, and I take this thing very personally. I'm not relying on no one. I'm pushing myself to the limits of people that have done it before me. It's required just to be wholehearted and take risks that you haven't seen before. I think when Isaac went to slay his son, it's something he had never seen. So it's always understanding that the unseen world, that's what we have to push for. We're pushing beyond our limits. We're pushing beyond our vision. We're pushing beyond our dreams. And that's the whole purpose of Seed, is setting out a path that we cannot see. We heard a lot yesterday about when PT years ago, he was sowing, he might not have seen the summit, but he trusted in the process and he trusted in the power of Seed. It's understanding that I've never seen anyone kill my son, but I trust his vision and work so much because it hasn't failed me yet. I can kill my son for this thing. So I just always look at myself, and it's not even about so much the ability or giving. It's the ability to push, to have to give. I think we're pushing to growing capacity, and having perpetual Seed is something that I always focus on. I said today in the group chat about daily giving. Hearing PT yesterday speak about daily giving, and that broke a level of fearlessness and broke him into the next level. Those are the things I focus on. I understand that Seed has always grown me. Seed has always pushed me to the next level. I remember hearing for the first time that PT announced the Money Culture Summit, and I just thought, like, all we done was sit in a corner for 2 years and just sow. We didn't ask for no summit. We didn't ask for no platform. We didn't ask for no mic. We didn't ask for anything. We just wanted to sow and be partakers. And that Seed saw the summit. That Seed saw the people that are coming to the summit and that will be birthed, and the next set of givers that will come from the summit. So I think it's just always understanding that we're just going to give our all. And I think for the Nxtion family, it's never been seen before. And I've heard PT just say that he's studied history and he's looked into history, and it's nothing that's ever been seen before. So if it's nothing that ever been seen before, and any of your understanding that has been seen, that you're trying to mix with this word, it just won't work. We have to push to a level that requires a level of us that we never visioned. So we can't limit ourselves to where we're coming from, the standards that we understand, the things that we see from peers and competitors on social media. It's all about separating yourself from your mates, even in the nation and the family. I'll be real, just knowing to separate yourself and pull away from people and just focus wholeheartedly, because at the end of the day, you came one man and you're going back one man. So you don't want a story that you never fulfilled what you came here to do. And I think David, they put on his tombstone saying, David, a man that fulfilled God's purpose in his generation. And I think it's understanding that that's what we came to do. I don't like half-hearted stuff. I don't like second place. So it's your cue to make some noise. Elite, we're gonna come first place again. So, and I think that was a week though. I can't lie. Sorry, but yeah, we're just gonna keep pushing. It's gonna take a new level of us, unseen us. It's the year of sight. So let's open our eyes and see it.
Good afternoon, Nxtion family. Hi, it's Beryl with Music Nation. So today I'm doing an original, and the song it's really my truth, and it's based on some meditations that I had listening to the word as well. But yeah, hope you guys like it. Giving you chill, loungy vibes today, eh? Aren't we? You excited, guys?
26 years, it's a waiting game. Any more delays and I lose my brain. My expectations are just insane. If I die now, who will know my name? Pour another glass cause I feel the pain. Wanna be the change but I feel ashamed. Didn't think life would turn out this way. No hero can save you from yourself. Most people stay stuck in potential, but we own the world to be the greatest. Can't stay on zero. I'm somebody's hero. The world needs answers, I'm stuck on self. Cloudy mirage of the cards I've dealt. Need to get past all the feel without. So when I see help and I feel compelled, won't just sit and look within myself. Extend a hand, saying for pain I felt. Whoa, whoa. No hero can save you from yourself. Most people stay stuck in potential, but we own the world to be the greatest. Can't stay on zero. I'm somebody's hero. Oh, na 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 na. Oh, na 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 na. Oh, na na. Somebody's hero, hero. Oh, na 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 na. Oh, na 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 na. Oh, na na. Somebody's hero, hero, no hero. Save it from yourself. Most people stay stuck in potential. The world to be the greatest. Stay on zero. Somebody's hero. No hero. Save it from yourself. No people stay stuck in potential. The world to be the greatest. Stay on zero. Somebody's hero. Oh, na 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 na. Oh, na 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 na. Oh, na na. Somebody's hero. Hero. Oh, na na na. Oh, na na na. Oh, na na na. Oh, na na na. Oh, na 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 na. Somebody's hero. Oh, na, oh, na, oh, na, na. Oh, na na na. Oh, na na na. Oh, na 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 na. Somebody's hero, hero. No hero can save you from yourself. Most people stay stuck in potential, but we are the world to be the greatest. Somebody's hero. Oh,
It is necessity that digs the well in you and draws the water out not because the water is on the surface. Water is not on the surface. You have to dig the borehole for it, and the drawer that you use in the digging is the necessity of the house. So everyone who is sitting down right now, looking at the necessity of the COD family, looking at the necessity of Inspire family, looking at the necessity, the things Pastor Nikky and Elite, they are the ones God is trying to give the well and the ability to dig the hole and draw life. Paul's family draw life. Those are the Seed Nation. And let me tell you something about Seed Nation. Givers Club. We are pushing you into the 25 pounds dimension of those days. Now it may be 1 million there, but it is still the same thing. Perspective is what matters to you. Desires begin to die when belief systems are tampered with. I need you to hear me tonight, because I want to speak about one of the most important things, our cardinal point as the nation. It is your eyes where you are blind. In other words, I don't need to know what tomorrow holds. I know it in my seed. Vision may fail, as powerful as vision is. There are people you ask, so what's your vision in life? And honestly, I don't know. So, because the word dream is popular, so if you don't have a dream, well, sir, sometimes I don't even have a dream, I have a seed. Because as long as the earth remains, seed time and harvest will not cease. It didn't say dream and reality will not cease. Dream will cease sometimes. And scripture said, it said, whether there be prophecy, they will cease.
Good evening, family. Good evening, good evening. Good evening. We can get those keys up for me, please, Pastor Diola. Let me do the greetings tonight. Let me see who's tuned in. We can also get the mic working the way I need it to. I see the greetings coming in now. Okay. Ella, good evening. Pastor Priscilla. Bonita. I know why Connect are on. I know why they're on. I know exactly why you're on. Pastor Beverly, I see you. Pastor Faith. Amoa from Elite Ghana, good evening. Pastor Casey Bishop. Profitable Miracle. Pastor Claudette. Pastor Oyen. Pastor Leah. Miss Naomi. Pastor Hannah. Joshua. Pastor Elvis, good evening, sir. You're live in the studio with us. Thank you. Yetunde. Pastor Antonia. Those keys can go up, please, ma. Pastor Mika. Pastor, if you just play a tune, you'll be fine. If you turn it up and play a tune, you'll be fine, ma. Sent by CM, I see you. Pastor Nikky, Sophie. Pastor Gani B. Big Papa Ron. Good evening, sir. Pastor Tafara. Pastor Stephen Martin Johnson. Good evening, sir. Pastor Courtney. Pastor Dr. Kelechi. I'll spend time with the greetings. Make sure everybody is tuned in as much as possible. Basketball Nation, good evening. I'm still waiting to hear a tune, though. It's not working. Right, okay. Just notify people that I'm on. Good evening to all the houses, to all the families watching. Solving, good evening. Thank you for tuning in from the Elite Cameroon. We actually have a special call tomorrow that will be led by Pastor Elvis to the Elite Africa team. So I look forward to speaking to you all tomorrow. Greetings to all the families, all the certain heads, all the industry heads watching tonight. Of course, Senior Pastor Sam, who I am fighting right now. Love you, bro. Greetings to you. Of course, my mother, Pastor Lucy, leader of the HQ. And then our global pastor, Pastor Toby Adeboyega. Greetings to everyone. Are we good, guys? Are you energized? Or you're just feeling, oh, there's a spy here. Connect. What are you trying to do?
I wouldn't even tell you the conversation that me and I won't call him Pastor Pablo tonight because that's how he operated. He operated as Pablo tonight. We had a conversation. I know exactly what he did. This morning, I won't tell you what you were on, but you were nowhere near where you were. As in, we were just about to take the lead, and within seconds, boom, Pablo has come. But it's a beautiful thing. I love the energy of the family right now. I love the steam of the nation. I love the fact that everybody is understanding where we should be and focused on that givers forum, that givers club, knowing it's our warfare space. So that's exactly the conversation I should be having with Pastor Sam. It's in a conversation you should be having with one another is where is your seed? What are we doing to get the seed? And tonight, what I want to do is really focus on where I think we're going to grow to next. And we started the conversation on seed last week. Our father, PT, continued it yesterday. And today, I think I want to speak about the next stages and the next phases that I think we're going to grow into. Because with every seed, you must notice that when there is seed, it goes through what we call process. And I want you to recognize process so that you too understand your giving. You will know when it's time to give, how to give. Most importantly, how to even harvest. Because seed is actually heart. Harvest is skill. Now, if you don't have the skill to harvest, you will be seeding for such a long time, not knowing when it's time for your harvest. Because within every harvest, there's actually a new seed. Stay with me tonight, because that's not really where I'm going. I want you to understand that with every seed, or when you seed, it is heart. When you harvest, it is skill. And I want you to get this into your head, because we're getting into a new phase where I think we're entering into a period where we're going to meet new people. And if we're going to enter a new period, we've got to be found empty. Otherwise, you will have no need for people. You will have no need for periods. We're going through a transition stage as a family, and I'm beginning to wake up. And I think that's what seed does when it gets into the ground. It begins to wake up. And what light does, when light hits the seed, it actually teaches the seed in what direction to grow, how to grow. And so tonight, my emphasis is for you to understand process. New elite, because you're about to get into, not just new elite, the family as a whole, is for you to understand the process and time that we're in as a family so that we can enter into the next phase. And I think that's the introduction of new people. And with these new people, they will come with their own skills so that we can better perform. And I heard Pastor Ryan say it right tonight. In our seed, we didn't see summits. In our seed, we didn't see TMC. In our seed, we didn't even see the elite. I remember the days when we used to go out to the car boot and sell Louboutins just to get £20 to sew. You remember, Pastor Chris? We were selling LV bags and car boot sales just so we can give, because we just believed in our heart that in our giving something was going to happen. We didn't know what that something was, but we just believed in the man in front of us to get us to where we were supposed to be going. And because of that, we were just aggressive in our giving. Then I started doing hair. Remember the days I would send my videos into the group chat, mobilizing everyone. I was doing bob wig caps, gluing wigs onto people's head and then collecting £200, £300. That's how I met Pastor Antonia. That's how she came in. I was mobilizing. What I was mobilizing for, I did not know. I just trusted the man in front of me. I believed that if this giving can go to this vision, then it's going to turn out to be great. We're going to be just fine. And in the continued giving, we didn't even see that we were just naturally progressing. We were getting better. We were advancing. We were becoming more Pastor Nikky. We were becoming more Casey, more faith in our seeding. It's not even how much we were talking and wording. Those things are crucial and fundamental. But actually, in our seed is our sight. In our seed is our destination. So the more we see, the greater the vision or greater the destination we're going to is. And that's why we're putting concentration on our seed now, because we know as a family where we're going to. When we speak about the wealthiest, richest, most powerful family in the world, in our seed is there. Now, if you can concentrate light, concentrate word on that seed, we will get there in quicker time. So what I need from the family is more collectivism. So when we're calling on targets, when we're calling on seeding, all of us have a hunger and desire and aggression. And you see, aggression isn't haphazard. Actually, I think what aggression does makes you more focused. It makes you focus towards a target. I think that's where everybody's heart is. Now, I'll start with my first scripture tonight because there was one promise that God gave to mankind in Genesis chapter 8 from verse 22. And PT referred to it yesterday, but I want to go back into this scripture because like PT said yesterday, there are some foundations that this house is built on. Number one being seed. The second thing being souls. Now, I want you to understand this seed properly so that whenever we get into seasons of seeding, you know exactly what to do and how to respond. It's seed that gives you money, not word. You will hear the word, but it's your seed that will help you find money. Let's get into this so that I can really, I don't want to spend too much time tonight. I don't want to spend too much time because I'm looking for more seed. Okay? Go on, please, Ma.
Genesis 8:22.
Yes.
As long as the earth endures, seed time and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night will never cease.
You know, when God spoke here, there was actually a curse that was on the land. And Noah went to send up offerings. And because those offerings so pleased God, his response was, I will never, ever allow there to not be seed time and harvest for these people. And again, I want you to understand what seed time and harvest is. Seed time is your processing time. It's the time you develop. And if there's anything that you're going to concentrate on right now, is that seeding time. It's your processing time. It's the time where Pastor Chris becomes a Pastor Chris. Stay with me, please. It's the time where you progress into the person that you are called to be. And nobody escapes processes to get into the next periods of their life. You will stay as you are until you understand it. And you've noticed that in this work, we're not going to put you into certain positions and certain titles until you've understood the process. Because what certain platforms will do to you, if you don't understand it, it will kill you. And so what seed time is supposed to do for us is to cultivate a habit of understanding what grows a person, what constitutes a person. You will find that you will know who faith is more as you're seeding more. The minute you take your eyes off seeding, like PT said yesterday, something, yes, has tampered with your belief. But you see, there's only a way that people can tamper, or something will tamper with you, with your belief, is if you allow it. If you allow things to enter, allow things to contaminate. And people allow things to contaminate by overly exposing themselves. What seed does, when it gets into the ground, it is buried away. So how did you let anything that isn't what you should have contaminate you unless you've allowed it? And this is why I'm emphasizing tonight that processing time is critical for your development. So as much as the family is maturing the way it is, I hope you are watching yourself as a seed. You're looking at yourself as a seed and questioning, am I growing right? Because what word does in the form of light, or what light does in the form of word, is supposed to direct your growth. It's to show you how to grow and where to grow. You do know when a seed goes into the ground, it goes at a certain value. But when it begins to transition and grow and blossom into what it's supposed to be, its value increases. What's happening with the family right now, our value is just increasing. People are trying to come in. People are trying to understand. But you can't understand unless you become a seed. So you've got to fall and die, yes, so that you can keep maturing. So that you can keep growing. Like I said, when harvest time comes, that is skill time. Harvest time is actually understanding periods in your life. And PT preached this a while back when he spoke about periods are actually people. You've got to understand the periods that come in your life so you know that who is supposed to come and join Carnaby and their team right now. So you know how to properly use them. That is harvest. That's harvest. And I see that that's where the family is growing into now. I see that for myself. I'm even understanding relationships better. I know how to speak to a Pastor Sam more. I think that's harvest. Understanding periods. It's now time to gather with my sisters more. It's now time to gather with my brothers more. It's harvest. Because in that, there will be more seed. The conversation I'm having with a Pastor Sam now, a Pastor Miriam now, a Pastor Shadia now is now benefiting me in the area of seed. I'm seeing what needs to be sown next. Our conversation today with Pastor Shadia was about the TMC Summit. It's a seed. Because I'm now thinking this summit cannot just be a great display. How do we make money from this? How do we sell tickets? How do we do all these things? It's harvest. And if there is going to be proper harvest, there has to be proper skill. Skill comes because you've understood process time. Process time develops your person. It develops your character and who you are. So yes, we are seeds, but do you understand the processes of seed? Because every seed has to go through a transition phase of its life. And its transition phase is actually to increase it in value. When you sow the seed of a rose, it doesn't look like a rose as a seed, right? But as it's going through its transition and its process, it develops into a rose. What does the farmer now do? It sells that rose. It has better value. But even more than that, that rose also has its seed. So understanding seed, time and harvest, because that's how the world will keep going around. That's how this family will keep functioning. If we're going to keep maturing and getting better as a people and understanding the vision that PT has, then these fundamentals of processing is key. Nobody is going to skip process and be called great. You will have to go back to the beginning because that's what seed it means, the beginning. Every time you drop a seed down, every time we hit targets and become first place, we go back to the beginning. And what that beginning does, it introduces us more and more to where we're going. It gives us more clarity. It opens our eyes more. What we should be doing is getting better in our giving. That's why I will not close this thing until we've hit our 50. And we're going to do it because there are some seeds here who believe. There are some seeds here who know fight. There are some seeds here who understand that when we get into the ground and when we get into darkness, that's our most effective time. More than when we sprout up. For the 3Gs that are watching tonight, you've got to understand that what made a Pastor Nikky and some of the leaders that you celebrate today is actually our seed in life. Yes, you may sound like, oh, what powerful people. We speak great words. But we can only speak great words because we get so greatly. Everything we had at points, we gave. We first gave ourselves to the work. That was the first seed. And I think that's the ultimate seed. Whatever comes out of that is the seed of me sowing me. Do you understand that? Whatever comes out of me in finances is actually a result of me sowing me first. So if you hear that Pastor Nikky's sowing $1 million, it's because I've sacrificed to that level. You've given yourself to that level, and it will keep increasing as you're understanding seeding more. And I actually think that the new elite, you're getting it more. It doesn't have to be many of us. In fact, it only needs to be a few of us, really. Because it said the seed as small as a mustard seed was effective enough to change a whole field. Doesn't need many of us. The Nxtion family doesn't need to be that big. 418 is enough for us to affect the world. So far, our belief system is intact. So far, we understand the vision through our seed. So far, we're using our seed as our GPS, as our signal and our pinpoint to our destination. Then we're going to be just fine. So it said, as long as the earth remains, or the earth endures.
Seed time and harvest.
We used to break this thing up and say seed and time, and no, it's seed time. It's actually process time. And you must experience that. Don't think that because you've got to a certain level in this work that you're going to escape process. I think we just keep going through certain processes. Even PT is actually, we're seeing his evolution constantly. It's called process time, seeding time. And he will know when to harvest. He will know when it's summit time. He will know when it's this time, that time, because he's understood heart and skill. And because of that, we're seeing a generation of seeders. And this is why yesterday he called us Seed Nation. I just thought that's so profound. We can't say that the first generation, put this towards me please. We can't say the first generation is the seed generation. Our generation as a whole is a seed generation, because even in the 3G, there's still seed. Even in baby Elvis' generation, there's a seed. And the responsibility of seed is to keep propagating itself, spreading itself until it gets to a place when it can't. In fact, it won't stop seeding. It just keeps going as long as the earth endures. So as long as there's earth, more nation leaders must keep rising. More people in this house must keep getting better, more skilled, more equipped in what we're doing. Our functionality will get better because of the seed that we've become. Like I said, you have to understand seed in perspective of who you are, because you can't do sense by CM by yourself. I think your seed is even instructing you on what to do and how to move next. That's what seed does. It begins to speak to you as much as it's directing you. It will tell you how to move, how to work with next, because seed is on a mission. It's got somewhere to go. It's got something to do and achieve. I want to keep it very light tonight. And the reason why I want you to emphasize on your process is because in order for you to educate the next generation and be able to speak to them, they must understand method and science. We're not just going to tell them we became rich overnight. We have to explain process to them through method. So that's why we have to keep bringing up stories. Like when PT spoke about, yes, I was a kitchen porter. Yes, I worked in the internet cafe. I used to travel on the bus. It was just myself, Reverend Dapo, and Pastor Lola in a church. That's method. It's science to his evolution. It's science to why he's so great. He didn't just become. That would be very weird. He's gone through certain transitions, and in every transition, he's gone through process. In every process, he's met periods, and these periods are people. And what skill has done, he's not allowed those periods to contaminate him. Rather, he's influenced the periods. And in those periods, he's just got people better. He's got you and I more better, more functional in the things that we know how to do. That's why we can explain why Orion will be a sower. You are part of a story. You're not just who you are because you are just that. You're part of a seed, a lineage of givers. That's your now DNA. Do you want to read the definition of seed again? Because it comes with its own genetics. It comes with its own type and DNA. So when you hear us speaking about past stories, of how we gave away thousands. For some of you, you remember when we wanted to honor my mother, and you know, this Tuesday is a very special day, not for me, but for our leader, Pastor Lucy. There was a time when I said, listen, I understand this seed, and I want to sow into this seed. So in the space of 2 days, we gathered like 20K or so, and we went to drop the seed at the seed, because we understood honor and value and what that is. We did the mad thing, selling all manner of stuff. You've got to keep sharing your stories. The day that you, Pastor Genevieve, sold your wedding ring, the day that you, Pastor Chris, sold your car to give, The days that some of you did the mad thing just so that you can sow. Why? Because you just believe. And for you, you didn't even know what you're believing into. You saw a man. You didn't see anything because whatever you were seeing is still too limited in scope. Because the seed is still seeing far ahead of us. You can't quite comprehend where we're going, what we will look like in years to come. But your seed does, and that's why we've got to keep emptying ourselves so that we can be as effective as we need to be tomorrow. Are you ready to read the definition of seeding, please? Yeah?
Seeds are tiny, natural capsules that contain the beginnings of new plants.
Yeah?
They develop from the reproductive structures of plants and hold genetic information needed for the growth and development of a new plant.
We read this last week. It said it holds genetic information. What is on the inside of each and every one is genetic information that must be perpetuated, propagated to the next generation. Do you know what that means? It means continued to the next generation. And in order to do that, what do we have to do? Concentrate on our process. Concentrate on our person, what we are becoming. I'm not looking at what Connect is doing right now, even though I am, and getting carried away by it. Actually, what I'm doing is looking at my seed more and asking myself, what more can I be doing? Because seed is actually an entrustment. When you put seed in the ground, you're saying, ground, I trust you to develop me in what you should become. When we came into the nation, that was a fertile ground. We were saying to ourselves, we trust this ground to mature us into the Martin that we should be. It may take time, but you trust what you have been planted into to make you who you are. And that's why you're constantly seeing the development. I don't know about you, but I'm seeing the maturity of a house of grace. I'm seeing the leadership of a Pastor Martin, Pastor Gania. Why? Because you are planted more. You're understanding processes. You're not getting carried away by periods. You are understanding people more and more and knowing how to harvest them to get the best out of them for the sake of the family. The next set of events that we're going to have, the Money Culture Summit, but listen, when you sell your tickets, when you sell your seats or however you do it, you've got to have money in mind, seed in mind. We're not just going to do a free event for people. You've got to understand that this seed is for the next set of banking systems we want to create. And if we don't do that, the world will do it. The TMC is a seed story. All the businesses that we have are seed stories. And this is why over the next couple of weeks, we're going to be concentrating on people individually. So when Pastor Genevieve put in the group chat, we're going through our CVs one by one, going through the businesses one by one. What we're actually doing is going through process. And we're not going to escape that time in the sake of I've been here for so long. No, we're going to remain until we are ready so that we can be the most effective, most powerful seed-bearing people the world has ever seen. Out of an Ella, there must be more seed. Out of a faith, there must be more seed. So the job of leadership is now concentrate light. And what you will be doing is looking at leadership more. Paying attention to leadership. Even placing demand on leadership. Where are we going next? Because you are helping us navigate the seed. You think of the days of mission seed. Let me tell you, Elite has always been on top. We've always been first place. Let me just keep it very, very real for you in case you're confused. Thank you, Pastor Gania. You know, we've always been on top. When we were doing mission seed, we didn't do 25. Our minimum was £100 a week. Then it started getting competitive. Then it started going wild. We were doing the mad thing every week. Precious, me and your dad, Pastor Mark, I used to message him, this is the balance for each family. That was my role. Every week I was doing what Pastor Priscilla does. I was admin. If you don't know, I was doing that. I was sending him the reports. So when I saw it on the group chat yesterday, I'm thinking, was this my one? Because I did the debug. This was my writing. I wanted to message Pastor Alicia, but I thought she's going to fight me and say I did it. I'm thinking, were you even around at that time? That was my job. So we've always known seed. We've always understood it. We didn't even know where it was going. And mind you, not only were we giving our mission seat, we were paying rent for the building. And we were feeding people. And during those times, we were doing pastoral work. When people would come in and say, I don't have bus pass, we would give our last £20. And I was paying Pastor Priscilla £20 a week. 20K is coming, ma. 20K is coming, ma. £20 a week salary. And I thought I was a boss. I used to put on my Snapchat, boss lady. £20 a week. And I thought I was doing something crazy. I just had mad belief. I just had reckless belief. I didn't know our tomorrow, but I knew it was going to be great. I knew we were going to be just fine because I'm looking at the man teaching us. And when he came and spoke to us one day about ordinary people who burn for God, that put a fire on the inside of me to just keep doing more. That's when we just started going mad. I went to go and get a job as a mental health, something like that. I said, what am I doing here again? I couldn't focus in the place. They kept saying, excuse me, are you actually working here or you're just wasting our time? And I had to last minute, I said, I'm wasting your time. I shouldn't be here. I've got a job to do. But I was only there so I can give. I had nothing else to do. In my flat upstairs, I was housing people. Then we got kicked out of my mom's place because I was housing people. Then had to move into Pastor David's house. Then we added people to Pastor David's house. We've always known seed. It's always been our life. Thank you. And if we're going to keep growing, we've got to understand where seed is taking us next. Otherwise, we'll plateau here. It's taking us into a new period of people. And in these people, there is seed. Now you've got to go plant them. We want to see the next set of Hannahs, the next set of George, because those are periods. Those are seeds. And these seeds will keep getting us, or keep allowing us to hit our new targets. There will be a time where we'll be conversing with one another and Pastor Chris will be like, remember when we used to sow 1 billion? Ha ha ha. That's good because that's our conversation now. This is just another dispensation. It was once £25. We're now talking of 40K a week. We're now talking of mad figures a week. Come on. If you cannot see this evolution, wake up. If you cannot see where we're going as a family, open your eyes. Yes, PT is right. Something is blurring your vision, and most times, it's yourself. Before anything triggers or contaminates you, you allowed it. It's not the thing. Because there are many obstacles outside. There are many things outside that should affect your growth. Only you can allow it. Only you determine how far you're going to grow or going to go to. You also determine whether you're going to fail or succeed. I've always taught you, and PT's always taught us, that success is premeditated. It's not a fluke. It's not an accident. You will always know if someone's going to be successful by certain methods and approaches they decided to take in their life. What am I asking you all to do tonight? Is concentrate on your process. Concentrate on your seed. Watch your development. And don't let anything tamper. Don't let periods and people. And I've shared this with some of you before. When you're trying to get into things like relationship, it's just a period. That person was never meant to settle there. That person was there to just help you to the next level. But because you are not seeing from the perspective of the word, that thing may have come in and hurt your process. So leaders, more than you focusing on people, your focus should really be on yourself. In your own development, in your own growth, your people will come. And when they come, they're coming with their own resources. I just see that in this time right now. People are just going to come. And they're coming with mad resources. I had the conviction so strong in me today, like, Nikki, you're good, you know. You're actually fine. Don't worry. Becca, drop the 1 point something in the account. Let's just move ourselves up a little bit. Don't say yes, man, do it. Drop it there because I need to seed again. I need to see, because what happens when we go into ground zero, our eyes begin to open more on how to locate seed. When we have nothing left in our hands, what happens next? You see people more for who they are. You see that they actually have a seed in them. You can now draw out the seed. If I'm so full, so filled with money in my account, there's bits everywhere. I used to teach TMC this all the time. Empty everything. If you leave anything left, I'm telling you, you will have no need to seed again. You will have no need to look for seed, because you'll be content in the little that you have. That's the cheat of littleness, or that's the cheat of even success. You will think that what you have is okay. That £300 left in my account is going to save me. Let that 300 go. You will know you need to look for another £300. Abi? Now you've sown that thing, you're going to come back and message me, Ma, and say we have nothing left, exactly where we need to be. Because guess what we're going to do? We're going to think. And in our thinking, the entrance of the word brings light and understanding to the simple. We will understand on how to get the next 20K. Because that's how we got the money culture. It was just seeding. This concept is so bizarre, right? To the world, it's like madness, because the world will tell you just save. Have and conserve what you have. Don't sell it all because you're going to need it for tomorrow. No. I understood this from the book of Genesis when they sent manna to these people and said, every day you go out and pick this manna. Don't keep it overnight. And when they did keep it overnight, that thing began to rot. You do know, actually, you've got to read something. It's in some of the notes that you sent me. Leah has been doing a fantastic job sending me some wild information. You know, sometimes, Pastor Daniel, I understood this. Seed works on proportion. As much as it needs water, it can't have too little water or too much water. You know that if you give it too much water without it allowing to grow, it begins to rot and decay. It can no longer function. So actually, every time we listen to PT, we're not supposed to just sit down and gather word. No. You will rot. You're actually supposed to action. Thank you. You're supposed to action the word. Otherwise, you will rot and decay. Do you have it there, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Go on.
Seeds that don't produce.
Seeds that don't produce.
Too much or too little water is the most likely reason for seeds not germinating.
Did you hear this? Too little or too much water is the
most likely reason for seeds not germinating.
So you can't have too little word. And then you can't have too much word. And the too much word is you not carrying out what the word is doing per time. This is why you have to understand process. Because some words, if you don't action them now, what they would do is suffocate you. And you'll wonder, why am I not developing? Why am I not moving? You were supposed to respond to that word. You weren't a skilled harvester. You didn't know how to harvest. It takes skill to harvest. Pastor Genevieve has got to know when it's time to start this pharmacy. Some of you have got to know when it's time to merge your business. It's called harvest. It's skill. And the way you get to understand that is word. And it's also belief. Because even your belief, you've got to know when it's time to marry what you have. Even if it looks like you're going to go under for a while. In your going under, in your going down to the ground, that's when you are most effective as a seed. You don't understand that? Is it there as well, please? You've got to keep reading. Just point them out, Pastor Leah, where you need to point them.
With too little or no water, seeds remain dormant.
Yeah.
With too much water, seeds become susceptible to rot or infection from soil-borne fungi.
Wow. Go on.
Also referred to as dampening off.
Dampening off. Have you seen people just dampening off? You'll be thinking about, with all this word this person has heard, that was actually the issue. Too much word, no action. Too much word, no production. So it's not the issue is never the word, it's the person and their response to the word. Are you understanding me tonight? I'm trying to make sure that you are an effective seed, because we can speak about the belief system. I think many people believe in the word. You believe in PT. You believe in the vision, but do you believe yourself to carry out what is being said? So there's two fundamentals in belief. Yes, you can believe in what is being said. Can you believe yourself to do it? Do you believe, Pastor Dr. Alexis, you can become a global GP? Global pastor. Yeah, that makes sense, doesn't it? Do you believe it? Because you can believe, I believe in Pastor Nikky and the word. I believe in PT and his word. I just believe it. I just believe it. There's another step. And I think it's an audacious step. Because, funny enough, Pastor Pascalina posted something the other day. I think she was supposed to send it to the pillars, but I accidentally got the message. And I felt actually it was quite deep though. I really want to share it. Let me share it with you. I thought it was quite deep. And maybe she didn't. Okay, let me send it. I was offended at the same time as well. I think, why you sending this to me? I'm not pillars. Or maybe she intentionally sent it. Just read it as I've sent it to you, Pastor Mika. What did she say? Go on, I dare you. Good morning. I
know. Good morning. This flower caught my attention as I was about to step into my house.
I wish I can show you the image she also sent, because she then sent the image of the flower. You can see it, right? Yeah, okay, go on.
The strength and determination the flower exerted to make its presence known. Though buried with all the gravel on top, it did not let that stop its growth. With determination, it pushed through the gravel and allowed its beauty to be seen. Yeah. God is wonderful. Don't allow the dirt, the challenges to stop you from becoming who you are called to be. Awesome lesson from a determined flower plant.
I just thought that was so powerful. And I almost said amen, Ma, but I thought religion. I thought it was so deep. And she sent the illustration of the picture. There was, you can send it in the group chat if you want. You can follow it. There was gravel all around this flower. And you can see that it had pushed itself through to show its beauty. You know that if we push ourselves as a family enough, we can decide our own path of success, what we want our future to look like. We can choose that we will be this wealthy, rich, influential family if we have enough audacity to push through the challenging parts of our life. We do. If you consider it as a necessity, if you consider it as that we have to, we will get there. The determination of this plant is the same determination that we must have. And I gave you that yesterday. Thank you. You've put it on the screen now. That's the gravel all around it, or the rocks and stuff all around it. Is it on the main screen? I can see it, but they won't be able to see it. It's in the group. But those at home that want to watch. Okay, never mind. It shows determination. I gave you Joshua 1, chapter 9. Thank you, sir. That's the little plant. Very small. I even looked at it and think, what the hell is this? But then I looked again. I'm like, oh, okay, I get this. She was trying to show the determination. And I'm sure the seed that caused this little thing, many of you would have ignored it. Just like sometimes you ignore people, not knowing that they are seeds that must be sown in hard places. So when we've got Ella in the house now, and we're asking you to regurgitate the word you're hearing from PT, we're putting hard tasks on you. We're now saying, let's see what you can actually do for Fit Grub. You will learn that I didn't eat your food because I don't want to die. I'm sure it was fantastically fine, but I'm putting that demand on you so you understand value. You understand value. I'm not just going to eat everything and anything. Otherwise, what would you look forward to grow into? If we all treat ourselves like anyhow, we've got to place demand and value. That's how we keep getting better. When we see PT, Pastor Lucy, there's a value there. This is 20 years of processing, of understanding period, of understanding seed time and harvest. Rate that. Respect that. Put honor and value on that. And the way we do that is by maturing more. Not just in this house, we're all over the globe, from the Cameroon team to the Ghana team to the elite Nigeria team. The way we keep functioning more is focusing on our process, focusing on what we are becoming as individuals and then as a collective. By June, I've already given you your target. We've got to get to 100K, and if we can concentrate light more, we will get there. And if I keep saying to you that we're about to enter periods where we will meet more people, then the seed is there. Like I said, you just got to have the skill and know how to swing the sickle, how to get your harvest. And with every harvest, like I said, there is more seed. What else do you want to read, please, man? I don't want to spend too much time tonight. I'm already fired up, and I think you're all fired up as well, and you're understanding yourselves better. You're understanding the work better. You're understanding that when we're saying go in, when we are consolidating, when we're bringing reforms in, what we're asking ourselves to do is process better so we can get the best out of ourselves. And we're seeing that more. I'm now understanding that we actually may not need to live together. It may not be that. But the fact that you can join the lives, you can join the family meetings again, and you're hearing the principles and the foundations that made a Pastor Chris, then you're going to be fine. I was actually just checking to see the attitude. I was checking to see what would be the response. What's the response? I want to know, have we matured? Are people still their individuals? And I learned something. I'm like, Nikki, you just keep growing you. Your people will be fine. PT's people will be fine. You keep maturing. And it's just, I just love this time. I'm so excited. I can't explain it to you. I'm excited, even though there's minus something in the account now, Becca, right? There's nothing there again. It's perfect because in our death, there is a resurrection life that germinates more life. So really, in my dying, in my seeding, I'm asking God to resurrect a new Nikky. A more functional Nikky. Go on, please, Ma. What do you want to read?
John 12, verse 24.
Read.
Very truly, I tell you, unless a kernel of wheat falls to the ground and dies, it remains only a single seed.
I assure you, read it in this is amplified. I assure you and most solemnly say to you, unless a grain of wheat falls into the earth, and don't forget, it's going to fall into the earth because we were already given a promise that seed time and harvest will always remain. So it said, I assure you, and most solemnly say to you, unless
a grain of wheat falls into the earth and dies,
it remains
alone.
Just one grain.
Never more. But if it dies, it produces much grain and yields a harvest.
Do you hear the word produce? That's what we're looking for out of this family is produce. We're looking for much grain, much harvest. But in order to get there, there must be much dying. There's got to be much seeding. The seeding of yourself, the seeding of your time, which then gives the seeding of your money, your resources. That keeps giving us more. None of us have lacked anything in the time of us seeding. In fact, we've only just gotten better. Better houses. We thought that once we leave this place and when we eventually do, we're not going anywhere less than this. We keep getting better. We're going to still have the burden of paying rent as much as giving seed because that's what we are. We just keep producing. Somebody keeps dying. House of Grace, did you go into a lesser house? You've gone into a better house with less people even giving. It's just showing the caliber of seed that you are. What happens with you, you're also thinking more. I'm seeing you serving more. You're seeding more. And in that seed, there is more seed. The seed called produce. Are you with me tonight, family? So no longer you're going to look at, it's seed time again, I'm going to give all. No, you're just giving more so that you can become more. You can become more fruitful, more life-giving. Nobody should look at the seed given time and say, I don't have. What were you doing with your process time? What were you doing in seed time? Or did you allow periods, which are people, to contaminate and affect your seed in life? You've got to be weary of people as much as you've got to love them, because people have two functions. They're there to help you, or they can also destroy you. And like I said, if you're not skilled as a harvester, what happens is people will come in and destroy you without knowing. This is why I'm asking you to pay attention tonight. I'm asking you to not forget some of the stories that made you. Those days in the well house. Pastor Rebecca, I have to keep reminding you of what you did back then. When you were sowing into your workplace, £10 every month, and eventually it grew to 5K, and you brought that to me and you said, Ma, let's sow this. Faith, your first giving. In fact, one of my first major givings, Faith took out a 4K loan. I don't care, I'm live tonight, public. I'm going to speak because this is what made us. So if you hear Palm Springs are in every shelf in Harrods, that seed that you sowed back then is speaking. Your seed has life. Don't let anybody, anything tamper with that life. Don't let anything, I don't care how tempting it is, because most periods are tempting. They're desirable. They look good. Most times they're the deep desires of our hearts. Most periods that come in are the things that naturally our heart wants. But what you see, the seed wants more. The seed sees more. The seed has a better future for you in mind. And if you can focus on that seed more, the right periods that will help you will come in. And when they come in full of glory. They come in with the things that will make you the kind of faith that the world will see as an emblem of hope, as an emblem of potential for the next future of people. Focus on your seed. Let me see in the comments tonight. Focus on your seed. The seed made us. The seed is making us. If you see a PT today, all of our conversation was just seed in life. We're seeing the evolution of this seed. You cannot ignore the Nxtion family as much as you try to. It can even be annoying at times. Oh, there they are again. A seed. It's a deliberate and conscious effort that one has to make when focusing on seed. Again, the temptations of your desires, of certain desires, are always there to test how much you believe your seed. I just want you to look at most things in your life that seemingly are a challenge. They're actually there to be your test. I emphasize again on the skill. If you understand harvest and skill, you will know when the test has come and when to perform and when to carry out the examination for this test. For some of you, you've had enough word. You're overly endorsed with word for you to be on a 10K given a month level. That's the truth. You've had enough concentration, light, word to be able to produce that. And I do believe that in this next period that many of you will enter into that light. You will. And not by trying. I don't think the seed tries. It just becomes. It is who it is. I don't think PT is trying to be PT. He is who he is. And at every phase, he's like unraveling new layers of himself. So the Lancaster House PT you saw will look very different because leadership will always evolve. Just like a seed, it will always transition and evolve. What you see in a plant today, okay, this fake plant behind me, just use that as an example. Say it was real. It would have been a little seed, an irrelevant looking seed that would have produced this mad flower, as beautiful as some of you may think it is. As decorated as you think PT is, it started off with seed. and processes. And that's why he keeps explaining the stories that we hear about him of Lancaster House, pre-Lancaster House. He's sowing stories. I remember the times when he will carry seed and sow it into certain ministries. And then he will come back with Bibles and give us all the Bibles and write notes. And I remember what he will always say in my thing. It will always be, don't fear. It's like he knew the seed. He knew who I am. He knows who I am. He can see. Because he himself has become a seed. That's always the conversation. Do not fear. Do not fear. It may say it in another way. Fear not. Thou not feareth. Escape the bondage of fear. And then last week's Sunday, fearlessness. Or fearless was the title. It's constant conversation. If you want to see the next level of you, seed, sow. Keep reading, please, Ma. I want to start rounding up tonight. I already think that the work has done from yesterday, from last week. We've been speaking on this matter, but now I want you to just get the process. So none of you get into a panic, into a haste, that you are writing a story. Please don't forget the stories. Don't forget your method, because you've tried, you've tested it, and it works. You know your nation building center works. Don't neglect the stories that you go through, even the challenging parts. I think with every scientist, Dr. Alexis, or any of you who do science here, before you get to any drug, you've gone through a series of testings. Even they call them trials. They tried to do it with me at one point with the alopecia. They said, we want to trial this drug on you. I said, you want to kill me, isn't it? I know. They would trial it on you. And then what they would do in that trial, they will keep you. What were we watching the other day, Pastor David? That film. Maze Runner. How do you know? You were on my... Okay, you told her about it. Maze Runner. They'd put these children or these young people into a maze. And they were doing an experiment with them. So they were experimenting and they were watching to see what will happen. And what they were saying about that generation that were there, they were saying that they are the next generation that they are looking forward to, that if they fail, there's no hope for them. The film is mad, you know. You know when you watch film now, you're watching it with a spiritual eye. You're like, deep, deep, deep. This is mad. I was even thinking, let me send this to PT. And then the other film I was watching the other day was King Richard. Love that film. That's a good film to watch, guys. Good film to watch. But anyway, back to even that was an experiment. Because they said that at one point, they thought Venus was going to be the one. Oh, yeah, you watched it. You're like, yeah, I saw it. He said, how did he put it? So I don't forget it, please, Pastor David. He said, Venus is going to be the greatest. Venus is going to be number one in the world. But he said to Serena, you're going to be the greatest of all time. And he said to Serena, I kept you in the back. I kept you in the dark. Why do you say that again? Because you're strong and what you are going to become. He can see the future of the seed. So he can allow a Venus to go forward. We can allow certain people to go forward because we know what this one will become. So I trust PT so I don't care. If he tells me tonight, oh yeah, pack your bags, come and live in the garden in Camp David, I promise you, I will turn that garden into Eden. What are you saying? I will live there with you don't even understand. The cherubims, all of us will be there together. I just trust the thing. Because he's experimented for such a long time now. And in his experiment, he's seen the results. He's seen in leaderships from a Pastor Sam to a Pastor this, a Pastor Bookie. We've seen the experiment work. And it keeps getting better and better. So I trust when he says, not yet. I trust when he says, it's not your time. When he says, don't do that, or this is for you, or go and do TMC. Don't do TMC. Do this. He sees. Because the seed has eyes. A farmer does not sow without expecting a crop. That would be foolish. Going back to my story, that none of us should forget our stories of being in this family, not forgetting PT's story and his evolution, because what that is a method. This is how you do it. Pun intended. This is how you do it. If you want to be great, this is how you do it. You become a seed first. Everything you have, you sow, including yourself, your life. Most importantly, your ideology. Get rid of it. Because when you, oh my gosh, you have to find the scripture in Corinthians. It says, you do not sow the seed. You'll find it. 1 Corinthians 15 maybe, or 13. Pastor Daniel will know it. We used to touch on these scriptures a lot back in the days. I'll soon begin to round up. But again, I want you to understand the method. Some of you have passed by this 5K giving period now. You've got to ask Pastor Genevieve, when are you going to get past this certain giving? When are you going to get to the next period? The next phase? So that you can get to the next and the next and the next. Because you've got to keep transitioning. That's what leaders do. We transition into the full glory. Have you got it? And that's one of the greatest fear for mankind is transition. We fear change. We fear evolution, not knowing that actually evolution is actually to satisfy the desires of humanity. That's how to pleasure people. Evolution is to satisfy the desires of humanity. Are you ready, Ma?
Yes, Ma.
Go on.
1 Corinthians 15, verse 37.
That's the one.
When you sow, you do not plant the body that will be.
Exactly. When you sow, you do not plant the body that will be. So what will it will eventually become? That's not what you sow. I used the analogy of the seed, right? You have this seed, but it produces this plant. You don't sow this and get this. Abby? Go on, please.
But when you sow, you do not plant that body that will be.
Yes.
But just a seed, perhaps of wheat or of something else.
Yeah.
But God gives it a body as he has determined.
He gives it a body as he has determined. And to each kind of seed, he gives it its own body. So when you see a Pastor Sam, it's its own body. When you see a pastor this, it's been determined what they will be. But they have to come in as a seed. Just like you and I. So I can't concentrate on the body of somebody else. Do you understand that? I can't try and be a pastor so-and-so. I have to be exclusively me. Just like a Pastor Daniel has to be exclusively him, a creative God. Imagine me trying to be creative and say, okay, this is the design should be. You guys will just, you will be irritated with me. You're just messing up our flow. A Pastor Genevieve has to be exactly the way she is. That's the seed, or that's the body that was determined. If it's to be a business, whatever, or Pastor Daniel to be a creative wisdom mind, Pastor Nikky to be a whatever she is, that's what it should be. And each attribute should complement what we're trying to do. Do you understand this? Thank you. It's the syncing and synergizing. You finished reading it?
Verse 38.
Yeah.
But God gives it a body as he has determined. And to each kind of seed, he gives its own body.
Yes.
Not all flesh is the same.
Yep.
People have one kind of flesh. Animals have another. Birds another, and fish another.
Okay, I think we can leave it there. Master your process. The 3Gs that just got ordained and the younger generation that is here, precious, a piece, master your process. If you're with Strong Girl, start thinking, how do we develop this? How do we sow more seed? Place demand on Pastor Beverly. What are we doing next? Have we spoken to the family? What are we doing to make sure that Strong Girl is exactly what the family needs? That's your job now. You support that. You make it effective. And then as you're doing that, you're also wording together. You're making sure that that seed is constantly being watered and planted so that you're growing and transitioning into what you need to be. This season is such a beautiful time for the family. I can just see the garden getting bigger. propagating itself all over the globe. So when I message a seven, excuse me, from Cameroon, the excitement that I get from him, I'm just thinking, what manner of man are you? What manner of man so quick and hungry to just want to support the work? You've understood seed, or you're understanding seed. Sometimes people appreciate the byproducts of seed. You can't, because you are the seed. You're not going to eat yourself. The world will have to absorb from you. The world will have to take from you. Your job is to keep producing and keep producing, and you won't stop producing. As we get into this next phase, like I said, there will be more. Something's happened in the trap, right? Are we closer? We're closing. We're closing in. Pastor Samuel's going to message me. I'm like, what? I'm just giving people time to sow some more. In fact, I'm not going to stop talking until we get back on top, actually. That's what I'm going to do. In this time, when we start our one-to-one CV sessions and focus on these businesses again and make them what they should do, we're going to create a package together for the TMC Summit, and we're going to have that ready for PT by next week. This is how much we're selling our tickets. This is how much we're selling this. This is how much we're doing this, that. This is what we're going to do. We're not going to wait for him to tell us. We're not going to wait till June and say, oh, so what are you planning? No, we're starting now. And we're going to sell those tickets, and we're going to have a very functional event. Lives will change. People will benefit from that event. I'm telling you. Because it's the money culture. It's a seed thing. We're even going to start our own seed round. Our own seed, what do you call those things? The seed funding. We're going to start our own. Because we've understood seed. Understand process. Understand periods and times, because that's what people are, times. And that's why many people get divorced, might I say. They don't understand that person was in their life for a period. It's now affecting their process, so they're like, let me get away from this thing. If you've understood process very well, you will understand what periods stay and what periods were for certain times. This is the maturity of understanding harvest and the skill of harvest. House leaders, know when it's time to grow your house. Know when it's time to sharpen your house. Let me remind you, the businesses that are part of your house belong to the family. Don't tamper with them. You're not supposed to touch them until leadership has said it's time to touch it. You're supposed to guard them. Make sure that they are mature in the way they ought to. Protect them, but bring it back to its source. We're in a season of plenty, family. A season of growth and development for many of you who desire it, who want it. So can I ask for your eyes to be open more on you? And sometimes the opening of your eyes on you can be scary because you're seeing the dark parts that need to be worked on. But that's a good thing. That's where you can grow. You're seeing the areas where you should be a 10K giver. You should be giving 20K a month. And sometimes those awakenings, those awarenesses cause you to sit upright. I think that's what's happening to many of you. You're paying attention, you're sitting up, and you're knowing what you should do next. Are you ready for this season of giving? So from next week, we're going to have a great time. We're going to honor our mother, Pastor Lucy. We're going to do another seed again. You know me and seeding. Thank you, sir. Thank you. We're going to do it again. We're going to honor her. Because that makes us. Just imagine. Let me not even imagine, Sha. We should be very grateful for what we have. Very grateful for what we have. We have solid leadership in this house. We have a great mother and father. And for that, it's such an honor, actually, to share that day. When I say that, I'm saying it like you don't understand. It's an honor. I keep telling, don't worry, that day is not mine. I'm just there as a celebrant as well. But imagine, same day, 5 years apart, there's just a grace over that thing, you know. It's weird. And I said I'm going to message, I was telling Pastor David, I'm going to message Pastor Lucy eventually and say, Mom, you do know there's something extraordinary about our relationship. You do know that. There's something divine. How is it? Same day, 5 years apart. We're both so beautiful. Everything is just making sense. It means so much. So I understand it, and I'm getting to understand these things more. The more you see, the more you understand, because it will open up your mind to a realm of imagination. It will. Concentrate on the seed. And most importantly, concentrate on this seed that is a PT. When I say concentrate on him, what is he doing now? What is he doing next? If it's the Givers Club, then that's what we're all doing. If it's mobilizing on the next event, whether it's the Gloss Awards or the Gloss this, then we're all doing it together. If it's TMC, we're all doing it together. Whatever he is asking us to do, he's got us this far. Trust him more to get us to the next level. And we're going to be just fine. Nxtion family, we're in a beautiful season and a beautiful time to keep growing what belongs to us. Let's keep our lands properly cultivated. Let's keep our gardens properly trimmed, properly transitioned, so that we don't become the seed that rots, but rather the seed that keeps producing. That's what we're looking for all of us today. I kept it very simple and light tonight because I want you to meditate on the words that you've been hearing and ask yourself certain questions. After a while, a Sophie must sit down and say, Mom, what can we give? Where can I give? I don't care if it's £10 or £10,000. There's seed in you. And thankfully, she's nodding her head, so that means she's ready soon. And everybody else that's joining us, the 3Gs, and Oggy and Martin, I just think if we're not careful, those boys will outdo your giving. From time they've understood tap to give, they will just be put, in fact, before you even ask, they will just put themselves by your phone. Money is just being sucked out of your account. That's how their minds are functioning. Keep up with them by keeping young, by keeping seed. When I say keeping seed, not holding on to it, but keeping seed like. Because like I said, seed means beginning. It means new. It means fresh. Again, I want to thank you all for fighting as the New Elite family and pushing yourselves to greater levels of giving. I know this family is just going to keep getting better and better and better and keep growing. But as much as it's good to have that ideology and have that heart and desire, we've got to take tomorrow seriously. Those one-to-one CV sessions, the business sessions that we're having, so that our businesses can flourish. And we're not growing a business, we're growing people that grow businesses. That's how we function and thrive. So leadership is very much concentrated on you as much as they are on themselves. So whatever light I'm getting, I'm giving it back. Whatever light PT is receiving, he's constantly giving it to you so that we can grow and grow quickly. The nations need us. You've proven how far you can grow and what you can do. Let's keep getting better. Miss Nigeria has got to have its own day. It's coming. Thank you. It's got to have it. Carnaby has got to do what it's supposed to be doing. I'm just seeing the group. Is that the group chat popping? Nobody, everyone, house leaders, everyone in your house must have seed in the ground. Don't let them go, even if you have to help them. Because I think that's what Pastor Sam Pablo have done for his own people. So help them with seed. Don't let their heads be down saying, I'm looking. Make sure they have. Don't let them pass this process, this time, without putting something down. Make sure it happens. And that's not to condemn anyone. No, it's just to get you thinking more. If your leader is doing it, why can I not do it? Synergize more. Synchronize more. And as soon as I said synchronize, guess what comes up on my phone? Synchronized swimmers. It's so funny. I'm leaving it there tonight. Let's get ready for this Sunday. It's going to be a studio service. And I learned as PT was walking out yesterday, he did say he's going to rename the Elite HQ. So I'm looking forward to what he's going to rename us into. And I always know that every time there's a new name, there's a new function. And if there's a new function, we just keep getting better. Thank you for that. We're going to keep getting better. I love this family. I love this work. I love PT, my father, my leader, my general, my commander. You can't give words for things. And that's why we have to just give ourselves. I think that's the highest expression of our gratitude, right? Is to completely give ourselves. If you truly believe what he's done in your life, in our life, what the word has done, what Christ has done, then we've got a responsibility to do what he did. Sow himself. Sow yourself. I love you all so very much. Let's get ready for tomorrow, ready for Sunday, and ready to celebrate our General, Pastor Lucy, on Tuesday, on her special day. It's a big one for the whole family. So let's celebrate this Jubilee. Is that what it is? 40 Jubilee? I mean, I know. What's 40 again? It's something big, though. It's golden. It's special. So please, we're going to go for another mobilization series, and we're going to do what we need to do to make that time special and show her how serious we are about her and about this family. Again, thank you also. It means what? Ruby. Isn't that for marriage, though? Ruby. Okay. I don't like that because there was somebody here that used to call themselves Ruby, and it was more like a rock. But anyway, we love you. I love you all so very much. Pastor Daniel's giving me that eye. Just round this thing up. I love you all so very much. Let's get ready for the next level. Connect. We love you. I love that. Benedicta is here. She looked away. She said, not me and them. She said, do you know, my partner is here, so I'm elite today. I love you all so very much. Thank you all. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Good night, guys. Good night. Thank you.